My name is Brennan Bollman. I'm an emergency physician, and I just returned 2 weeks ago from working in central Gaza. I entered Gaza just a couple of days after the complete blockade started, and for the past 8 weeks, zero aid, zero food. I was there as the World Food Program was forced to close its bakeries and household distribution several weeks ago during the festival of Eid al-Fitr that marks the end of Ramadan. And now everything has run out. 2 million people are starving. My Palestinian colleagues are doing the best they can to care for patients who survived the multiple horrific injuries of bombings. But the human body cannot heal without food. After I had been in Gaza for about 2 weeks, we were awakened by the most intense bombing, rattling the windows, shaking the building. At around 2 a.m. on March 18th, with no warning, the Israeli military started bombing everywhere in Gaza. Over the course of just a few hours, they killed 400 people, including 170 children, and injuring 550 others. Al-Aqsa Hospital, where I worked, received 68 patients and 23 dead on arrival. And that was one of the smallest mass casualty incidents at every single still functioning hospital in Gaza that night. Our Palestinian colleagues handled the crisis with preparedness and skill that outstrips the very best trauma centers in this country. But that number of severe injuries would drown any health system. Over the next 3 weeks, I saw entire families as victims, nearly half of them children. Their small bodies, severely broken, severely burned, broken apart, blown open. Children who survived lay in hospital beds afterward, and I expected them to be crying from the physical pain I knew they felt, but I then instead saw them stare blankly ahead, because although they had lived, they'd lost their siblings, their parents, their entire worlds. Through all of this, my Palestinian healthcare worker colleagues demonstrated for something for which I have no word, because it goes beyond compassion, beyond skillful dedication, beyond courage. They lost family members and returned to work the following day. They had to move their tents multiple times because now 70% of Gaza is under a no-go zone, even though they knew the areas to which they were told to evacuate were also getting bombed regularly. And they kept caring for their patients. As the Israeli military keeps bombing their hospitals, they keep working. We often hear the healthcare system in Gaza has collapsed. But that's not really true. Yes, nearly half of hospitals have been bombed to incapacity, and the remainder are only partially functional, not to mention the hundreds of destroyed clinics. Yes, the medicine and supplies will soon be completely exhausted. But the Palestinian nurses and doctors and support staff and the people coordinating the health system are still there working. They don't really need someone like me to volunteer. They need supplies to be allowed in. They need their bombs to stop. They need an immediate and permanent ceasefire. They need food for their patients and for themselves. They need this illegal and unconscionable blockade to end. We simply cannot abandon them.